Links back to past Star Trek non-corporeal aliens as well as holodeck sports such as Parisi Squares and other science fiction homages. Well, hey everyone, I'm Nick and welcome back to Sci-Finatics. Well, today we're talking about episode 8 of Star Trek Prodigy Season 2, which is entitled, Is There in Beauty No Truth? Which is a complete wordplay off the original Star Trek episode, Is There in Truth No Beauty? So they've sort of mixed it around a little bit. And that episode of original series obviously was the first episode where Star Trek revealed the race of Medusans, the non-corporeal life forms. That is our one of our cast members in Prodigy, Zero. So this episode is definitely a Zero based episode, where we get a reminder that in the last episode, Zero's suit got significantly broken with a little run-in with the AI computer there, run by the Kazon. And it would seem that I guess the Infinity is passing by a colony of non-corporeal life forms that have recently been able to transfer their non-corporeal consciousness into physical bodies. It seemed very fast and without a great deal of explanation that something, suddenly Medusans have spoken to me and we need to go and visit them because they're offering to put me in a body or whatever. It was like, what? Geez, that was quick. So yes, it was very convenient, I thought, that Zero just happened to break his suit in the last episode and they just happened to be driving past a planet of non-corporeal life forms, including Medusans and others, that making this offer. So it kind of did strike me as, geez, that's pretty convenient. Yeah, but I guess we just let those little things just slide past the radar for the sake of storytelling. Zero finds out that there's this colony of non-corporeals which contains Medusans. It contains other non-corporeal life forms such as the Calamarain, which we last heard about in the TNG episode Deja Q, where Q tormented the Calamarain when he was an omnipotent being and they were coming back to get revenge on him in that episode. We also heard about the Paxons. Zero made reference to the Paxons. This colony has a few of them on it as well, which was seen in the TNG episode Clues. So we're certainly trying to squeeze in all of our past non-corporeal life forms that we've been exposed to in Star Trek to help give Zero a new corporeal form. So before long, they end up on Ovidia 4 and get introduced to Ion, who is their leader. They come off the ship wearing the same red visors that Spock wore in that original series episode to protect themselves against races like Medusans, but it turns out they don't need them. There's a whole bunch of non-corporeals living on this planet in bodies that are sustained by the planetary rings. They somehow manage to sustain these bodies to give these life forms long life, which kind of sounds a bit like the Baku planet in Star Trek Insurrection. And everybody's very wrapped up in the five senses, smelling and eating, and we get some of the colonists on this planet sniffing Jacob's armpits and all sorts of stuff to absorb all kind of sensations and everything. And Zero obviously gets offered a chance to become corporeal as well. It's a bit like Avatar, really. Kind of gets into one of these Avatar-like pods where you climb in and then you get your consciousness put into the body. Seem to be a few little Avatar parallels here as well. But it seems like the colonists, Ion and so forth, are withholding a little bit of information from Zero. The rings of this planet, basically, you can be corporeal and everything and live forever or whatever it is, providing you stay on this planet. But the second you leave the planet in your corporeal body, the body starts to break down. Now, they didn't really go into a great deal of information as to how long this breakdown actually takes. They didn't say, Zero, if you leave the planet, your body will wither and die within a month. Or they didn't say your body will wither and die within 80 years. So this was a bit of convenient information that they kind of left out here, I found. Surely that would be an important piece of information to know. Like, are we talking a matter of weeks here, or are we talking many, many years? Because that makes a difference. Meanwhile, back on Voyager, our holodoubles are playing Parisi Squares with Nova Squadron and so forth on Voyager, which was mentioned on more than one episode of Next Generation and a few episodes of Voyager as a common recreational sport on the holodeck. And they're making some reports to Janeway and the other senior officers that they've got a pretty good suspicion that there's something up with these kids. They work out pretty quickly that they're holograms, and that they're missing one of them. Gwyn, aka Murph in Gwyn's body, has disappeared, and they don't kind of know where she's gone. Because obviously at the end of the last episode, we saw Murph in Gwyn's body get taken by those ghostly tentacles that came through the hull. Meanwhile, back on Ovidia, Zero's pod opens up and Zero's in a brand new body. There's hugs all round for the kids. Feast of senses going on. We've got eating lots of food and gorging, burping, and all sorts of gluttonous and overindulging. We get some dancing going on. Gwyn and Dal are drinking and talking about Zero and everything, and obviously Gwyn's predicament as well. There's a little moment again between these guys. And we kind of soon find out that the colonists here on Ovidia are kind of adrenaline junkies, I suppose you'd say, where they're so into experiences and experiencing, all the senses and whatnot, that they have this tradition, which is the running of the Nazimon, which is, let's face it, it's pretty much the running of the bulls in Pamplona, but with a giant flying alien beast rather than bulls. But the concept is the same. You run like hell and hope the bull doesn't get you, but it's all about adrenaline and absorbing fear and absorbing all of these emotions that are normally foreign to non-corporeal life forms. Dal and Zero kind of get swept up in the beast, but they get back to ground pretty effortlessly, and they just enjoy the view while they're in the mouth of this thing. It didn't seem like it was particularly deadly or dangerous or was going to eat them and chomp them up and everything. It kind of seemed like a gentle giant, They were just quite quietly sitting on its lips while it flew around the sky, and they got a nice view of the planet. So it wasn't really that big a deal, I thought, in terms of being incredibly fear-inducing and so forth. And they were able to get out of its mouth and back to the ground, relatively easily. In the end, Zero gets offered to stay on the colony, to live forever with the rest of the colonists, but Zero chooses to stay with friends, the kids there, even though knowing that body will eventually degrade and everything. As I said before, we don't know how long that's going to take. Back on Voyager, Janeway and the rest are investigating the sense of some missing log data from security footage and so forth, and there's a chunk of 8 minutes missing, which is where Gwyn/Murph got taken away by the tentacles. She remembers and starts freaking out that these tentacles took Murph away. I'm kind of a bit disappointed in this episode that Gwyn's personality got restored to her body so quickly. I thought there was such a great opportunity for an awesome comedy moment to have Gwyn walking around in Murph's body, Murph talking away with Gwyn's voice, that they never did. I thought, oh, this is going to be hilarious, where Gwyn's, trying to get the sense of, Murph's shape-shifting, blobby kind of self. What a missed opportunity that was. But before we had a chance to get any of that in this episode, Gwyn's consciousness got put back in Gwyn's body. I'm a bit disappointed. I would have loved to see some moments there with the Gwyn consciousness in the Murph body. That would have been great. So it would appear that we've now got Zero in a corporeal form, which is quite tall as Rock is. Very slender being in this new body, and about as similar kind of height to Rock. I guess that adds a different dimension to the character. I suppose my only thought is that obviously having Zero flying around in his suit as a gas form and everything, there was certain things that he could do as a character that, probably isn't going to be able to do in the same sense as a corporeal life form. And it kind of almost seems a little odd to me that, generally speaking, in the history of Star Trek, you get beings ascending from a corporeal form into a non-corporeal form as a heightened, level of spiritual attainment. Going backwards kind of almost seems like a downgrade in terms of, oh no, we've achieved this level of evolution, but we're going back into an old body sort of thing. So it's very rare that it happens this way around. Normally in past Star Trek, it's been the reverse of that, much like, say, Kess in Star Trek Voyager. All in all, I think this was an interesting episode. Obviously, it adds a whole new dynamics to the character of Zero, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this will play out in future episodes. But let me know what you guys think. Leave a thought in the comment section, and we'll get chatting about that. If you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics yet, guys, please be sure to do so. Click on that big subscribe button to stay current and up to date with all the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. And also be sure to check out my merch in the merch store. Plenty of cool t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, caps, stickers, Star Trek themed, other sci-fi themed stuff there as well. Worthwhile having a look, picking yourself up a bargain, and it also helps support the channel, which I really appreciate. I'll be back very soon with my reviews for the last 2 episodes of the part 1 of this season, which will be episodes 9 and 10. I'll do in one big review, and that takes us exactly halfway through the season at the halfway point. I'll see you guys then.